for today's cup of coffee.
Cup of coffee.
It's not been a horrible day.
No.
We actually got some things done, and which was good. I didn't know whether I was going to be able to get them done, but we did. I had to go out in the public.
You did. I had to leave you for a good bit there.
And that was okay.
Yeah,
it was okay.
I needed to help you lift stuff, and then I saw that you had a bunch of heavy stuff and shit.
Yeah, it's all right. You lifted the heavy stuff into the car. I was able to get it onto the buggy, and that was... And then we usually work as a team pretty well together. Mm-hmm. And it's like, we have everybody has interesting neighbors. We are probably the interesting neighbors. If somebody had some sense, what they would do is have some kind of recording device and just random things that from our front porch.
It's like always, as soon as we get to recording, but this is with anyone and everyone that does YouTube content, it's like as soon as you record, that's when people decide to do stuff.
Yeah, it is, but it's also the interesting neighbors. He was out on a mower. It was after 11 o'clock last night.
Yeah.
Who does that?
And he had the headlights on, but that doesn't do shit at night anyhow.
Who mows at night?
You don't know what you're running over.
We are actually recording earlier in the day than we normally do because we got a little bit of a time thing going on today.
Yeah, time crunch.
And so, yeah, he cranked it up. And I went outside to smoke. And here he is trying to mow while reading something.
What?
Who does that?
An idiot.
Well, I wasn't. I was trying to be nice, but anyhow.
No, fuck that. Not mincing words there. Just if you're not paying attention, you're an idiot. You have to be aware at all times when running that sort of machinery.
Yeah,
it is dangerous.
Yes, it is.
You don't know what's in the yard.
Right.
You don't know if animals are there. Hopefully, they're running out of the way.
Hopefully.
But that's not a guarantee.
But that is the same individual that they had a tree limb that had fallen, and instead of him cutting the tree, he mowed over it. Mm-hmm.
Fucking mowed right over it.
Dude, that is a mower. That is not a wood chipper.
That's a way to fuck your blades up real fast
absolutely.
And everything else.
Absolutely. And it's like, when we had the lawn care business, we did quality work. We really did. Mm-hmm. And it's just
y'all knew what we were doing and what you were doing, and it was responsible.
Yeah, because husband, he has, with that Capricorn, he's got this attention to detail on these things. And he could envision what it would look like when it was finished.
Yeah.
And it's just, yeah.
Incredible.
And my God, that was a long time ago, and many miles, and it's almost like a different life. But it was there was something very satisfying doing, even though it was hard physically. At the end of the day, you would come home, you would take a bath, and you were done. Mm-hmm. You were just done. You didn't have to worry about whatever. You didn't have paperwork and all that stuff because, yeah. But we certainly had enough sense not to mow over tree limbs, especially while they were still attached to the tree.
Now, listen, now, not to say that we haven't run over them, but they have not been big bits and pieces like a damn full-on limb.
Well, the smart thing to do is to walk the area that you're going to mow prior to mowing to make sure that there's not some kind of something that can become a projectile.
Yeah, but if it's a stick about like yay big.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I didn't see it, so it's like I'll obviously run over it, but it didn't damage it.
Right. Well, and that was the reason as far as,
I usually do pretty well as far as like walking the yard and seeing what sticks need to be picked up, shit like that.
Yeah, but I
don't want to damage our shit. We don't got the money to replace it.
Right. And even back then, it was a matter of insurance because people are stupid. And then when the insurance kept getting higher and higher and higher, and we had to drop the insurance because very, very small startup business. Mm-hmm. And to have a disclaimer that people would sign, which said, do not be outside your dwelling while equipment is in motion.
Yeah.
And you would inevitably have somebody that would come out there. Mm-hmm. But because that we did try to cover our asses legally, and this...
Y'all had waivers and shit.
In today's world, I don't even know that I would try that. I don't even know. Because you've always got somebody trying to hoodoo somebody somehow.
Those waivers usually cover your ass pretty good on those legalities.
Yeah. Well, that's just like we have a sign in our yard that says not responsible for accidents or injuries on this property. Mm-hmm. So that if somebody comes up here and falls down, well, we had a sign.
Yeah, very much.
It's not our responsibility that somebody can't walk. And we also have one that says private property also. And it's sad that our world has gotten that stupid.
It has.
But speaking of something, I don't think this is stupid. I think it's cute as hell. And if I ever get, I would like to go to this place just for a day. Uh-huh. Nice little day trip. And this comes from Daily Star and is by Charles Wade Palmer and was written on April the 22nd, of course it was, 2024. And over in Scotland, there is a little island or some kind, it must not be large, that they're calling Gnome Island.
Ooh.
And
Gnome Island.
It says that it's
a garden gnomes.
Mysterious islet. Or it's island. Islet.
What the fuck is
It's a
islet?
baby island. It's a tiny island. It's an islet. Yeah.
Is that like a shitlet?
Sort of. Sort of. It's there in Scotland. And it's covered with garden gnomes, but no one knows how or why. Because it was a thing that needed to be and someone made it happen. There you go. There's your...
someone that was bored and started that shit. They had enough money to get an island.
It was somebody like us.
Yeah.
It was someone like us.
Unless it's like Doll Island.
Just for general fuckery.
Mm-hmm. Unless it's like Doll Island, which there's ghosts there.
Right.
And so basically they put dolls up to try to appease the spirits there.
And it says that the gnomes inhabit Swallow Craig, a rock just off... Inchcolm Island in the Firth of Forth. You people over there in the UK. You have, yeah, which was first spotted littered with miniature garden characters in 2010. So this has been happening for a minute. It says one theory suggests a local fisherman or woman is behind the bizarre backyard army. And it says folklore now tells a different story, however, of gnomes making a daring escape from a nearby garden center, fleeing up the Forth under the cover of darkness.
Oh my God.
Because this is just
that is awesome.
Begging for stories to be written.
Yeah,
this
it
is
really
something.
is.
Yes, this is something just to spark someone's imagination.
Folklore. Imagine the folklore coming from that.
It says, alternatively, of course, they were shipwrecked and have since been stranded on the island for the past 14 years. God love them. And the gnome population continues to grow, earning the isle the nickname Gnome Island.
It's the island of misfit gnomes.
Scott Ashton, captain of the Maid of the Forth, ferries up to 100 tourists daily to the island, and he says visitors are always amused by the sight. Mm-hmm. Well, that's enough for it to exist right there, just to bring a smile to somebody's face. And he says that, quote, one story behind it is that these gnomes escaped from the garden center under the cover of darkness, and they made a bid for freedom, escaped over to Inchcolm, and they've established their own colony out there. That's how the legend goes. We hear people on the boat all the time asking, is that a gnome? And then they see the sign that says Inchcolm, and they laugh at that, end quote.
It's funny.
So... let's see, I've got a...
I love that.
I love it too. I think it's just great. And if I can find the rest of the text, because there's like 3 pages worth of blank. It says Scott
Blankety,
has
blank.
I let them know on Daily Star months ago they did nothing. Scott has been running sightseeing cruises on the 4th for 18 years, operating daily from Easter until October. Over the years, he has observed the known population mysteriously increase each winter, but admits he has no clue how. And he states, quote, "Nobody knows how they got there and nobody knows why they're there, but they do seem to multiply every winter," end quote.
Because they're living things. At this point, they have become their own.
I think it's great. Like I said, this is the stuff of imagination.
It is.
For somebody to sit there and go, let's just mess with people.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
It's not hurting anybody. It's bringing people,
Joy
and mirth and laughter. Now, I will include the link in the description box for those of you on BitChute and Rumble. YouTube, sorry. Y'all can go to BitChute or Rumble and get the actual link.
Yeah.
Because I have more than one picture here, and one of them, seagulls. And from my understanding, gulls are assholes.
They are assholes.
And that they have befouled some of the gnomes.
Full on just.
And it's like, I
Goosed
think
on
that
them.
they need to give the gnomes like tennis rackets or badminton rackets or something so that they
Little
can
sport gnomes.
Absolutely, so they can fend off the gulls.
Someone needs to do that. Put like a tennis player gnome up there, a golfing gnome.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. They come to life.
I know that locally, people, there are people that have creativity and they will do things just to see who's paying attention. Now, in the past, I have been one of those people.
It's like the people that play, the little tiny plastic babies that are about like an inch. Literally an inch, and they'll just place them random places.
Yeah. But
I wanted to do that.
Years ago when I was in radio, the guy that was our engineer, where he lived, he said that there was some kind of wagon or something that had pumpkins lined up. And that each day there would be another pumpkin.
Oh.
He appreciated it because he was fun and he had lots of creativity. He said it was not him that was doing it, but whoever owned the pumpkins and the wagons, just to see how many people were paying attention.
Mm-hmm. Just one by one multiplying.
Absolutely. Which they need to do that. They needed to be, carved.
They just spawn.
Wouldn't that be lovely? That would be lovely if the pumpkins would just spawn.
Yeah.
New ones. We haven't tried feeding them after midnight, but that's a thought for.
Well, we have tried the Furbies. We know how that goes.
Yeah.
Like the gremlins.
So, final thoughts on Gnome Island. Does this sound like someplace that you would like to visit?
Love that. That is like one of those like rinky-dink roadside attractions, and they just have a charm to them.
Absolutely. Those were great. When I was growing up, just these little trading posts was what they were called. They were, some of them just cool as hell. That was one of the wonderful things about Americana. Mm-hmm. We need to bring things like that back.
We need to switch presidents first.
Well,
we need to switch people. We need to switch government people first.
Well, and is it that, or is it just that as the people we need to start taking our lives back?
Both.
Yeah.
Both. It's a combination.
Yeah, and it's like, those who are going to be offended by anything and everything,
rebel.
Let them be offended someplace else.
What was that thing from like years ago? It was like Cupcakes.mov or something. It was like revolution.
Well, that's yeah. Seriously, planetary alignments right now. Yeah, that very well could be somewhere in the future. So
if that happens, we're not in the brink of it. We're not in like the thick of it.
Now, but let me tell you something. In these mountains,
in our location,
we are a rebellious people. It's in our DNA.
Yeah, but we also know how to hide.
Well, we know how to do a lot of things because we have had to. People have no idea what it's like to, survive in these mountains. They really don't.
No.
And it's like these other people that they come here and they want to do whatever they want to do. They don't stay too long.
Mm-hmm. And earlier we mentioned folklore. Legit, some people are finding out as they're moving here. They're realizing some of that folklore is real.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, nobody told me about this shit.
Like,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, it's like, there's stuff out here in these mountains. We realize that. We respect it.
You see something? No, you don't.
Right.
See something? Don't say nothing.
Yeah. That's true of anything, anywhere, whether it's human or non-human.
Yeah.
Mind your own business.
Uh-huh.
That's how you get along here.
Heavy powder head, long bang, heavy powder head down, no spook.
Yeah. So is that your final thoughts on it?
Yeah.
On the gnomes?
Mm-hmm.
If you've had experiences with paranormal or supernatural encounters with UFOs, aliens, cryptids, if you perchance have gotten to witness Gnome Island, please put that in the comment section. You can also email us, cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com, and that is there in the description box.
I also think there was like, I don't know if this was a joke tale or what. I'm sure it was. It was just like stupid, like little story thing. Someone said somewhere down the line, and I know it's like, I heard this from this person, and I heard this from this person, and whatever.
Oh,
So
yeah,
you know that game of telephone,
yeah.
how that works. But like the garden gnomes, actually, like when you're not looking, like they would actually animate and come to life and shit like that.
Well, yeah.
Because it would
not?
spawn actual gnomes or something like that.
Why not? Why not?
Yeah.
They do. Just let them do what they do. And it's like you sit there and go, here, give them a cup of milk every now and then, let them have, and that's what you're supposed to do with some of them.
Gnomes are actually really, like the actual legend of gnomes. They are mischievous little things.
Yes, they are. Don't piss off the gnomes. Don't piss off the fays or
And
the
they're kinda
brownies or
scary.
any of those things.
Yeah. I mean, they
You just don't.
when they're angry, they're scary.
Well, yeah. I mean, like I said, don't disrespect any of these earth spirits, which that's what they are. They're earth spirits.
Who put those spirits here?
Well, now that's for another cup. I've already done my thing. Do your thing here. I have deviled eggs to make.
And deviled eggs. Those are good deviled eggs. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, comment, and most of all, subscribe and click that notification button for daily notifications of our daily uploads. Join her also not only on YouTube, but on BitChute and Rumble, Warlenda's Cup of Coffee with Scream, and find her on X, previously known as Twitter. Fuck
Yeah.
Why change it? Why change the name?
I don't know.
Warlanda, COCWS. It's like a radio station call sign.
Yeah, this is more Cup of Coffee with Scream.
Yeah.
Just character limitations on that.
Mm-hmm.
Know that you are loved.
Mm-hmm.
Treat other people the way that you would like to be treated.
Yes.
And Lord willing, we'll see you on the next cup.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Bye.